This video is not just a tutorial, it's a method that helped me to get hired for my first job. I know it is really hard to get your first job. They reject you because you are inexperienced, because you don't know how things work, because you're missing certificate, because they don't know that you can use that program, blah blah blah. I got rejected a lot, and I realized that just applying to jobs won't make you get hired. One day I saw a job posting for a technical purchases on metal industry. They were looking for a mechanical engineer. I applied there, went for interview, and my boss told me that I think you are lack of motivation. The interview was bad, but the good thing is I had their email. So I prepared an artificial data with AI about metal industry to show my willingness. I analyzed that data to show my skills, and I sent it to my boss. 2 days later they called me for one more interview. When I went there, my boss told me that I appreciated your effort and interest. You can start on Monday. In this video I will show you what I did, how I prepared my data, and while I'm showing this process to you, I will also show you all of the skills like data cleaning, data manipulating, data analyzing, and data visualizing. I'll do all together so you'll understand how real data analysis work, and you can do the same thing to impress your HR or your boss so that they will think you're skilled, you're motivated, you're willing to do the job because you already did something before you get hired. That will increase your chance to get accepted the job, which I hope so. So let's get started and I will show the details on the video. I created this realistic fake data for our today's example. Before we start to work with data, we need to know that what we are working with. So we have company names, we have products, we have their sizes, we have amount and their unit, we have the price, and we have the date. I will convert this data into table format because it is easier to work with. So I will choose my titles, my column titles. I'll press Ctrl Shift and down arrow. Okay. Right now I reached the bottom of my data and I clicked Insert and Table. I already choose my data and I press OK. And here we have table format. So before we start, I like to know the type of the data that we are working with. So amount should be number, but it is text format. So let's convert this to number, but I don't think that we need 2 decimal numbers for amount. So let's just make it like this. Also price, let's change it to currency. My Excel file changed the currency Turkish lira automatically. How to change it? So I right click on my data and I click format cells. I choose my currency and I press OK. For date, I don't think we need to see the hours. I go here, I choose short date, and there it is. I also want to add this here. As a mechanical engineer, I know that these products' sizes are millimeters, but sometimes we won't be the only person who will work with this data. So, for our co-workers who doesn't know the data as good as we are, we better detail the data for them to understand what's going on here. So I will add millimeters here, okay? Also, let's center these. I also want to change the name of the sheet as main data. And I want to create one more sheet and I want to name it working sheet. Why I create this? Because this is our playground. This is where we can mess things up. This is where we can try new things. This is where we can be disorganized. So if somebody will check the data, like one of our coworkers, they will see that, oh, the working sheet is so busy. The data analyst of our company is doing his job here. So let's not change anything here. If they need to see the raw data, they will go to the main data sheet. And when I'm going to work with this again, I will go back to working sheet. And also it is good for me too, because if I mix main data and working sheet, things will be very messy. And at the end of the result, when I'm going to show this to my boss or to my manager, we can get confused, we can lose. So this is not a good way to present your analysis. I would like to see for $1, how many products that I can buy. I mean dollar per unit. Let's create new column here and name it as dollar per unit. So if you write something next to your table, Excel will think that, oh, okay, you're extending your table. If I write something here, you see nothing happens. If I write something here, the table expands, okay? I will select the cell that under our title. So when I say price divided to amount, you see it all look 1, but it is actually rounded numbers. If I do it like this, right now I can see the details. But let's just do it for 2 decimal numbers, okay? That's enough for me. I want to add pivot tables for my analysis for the same reason that I add table to our data. The goal is make things easier for us. You will understand what I'm saying later of this video. So I will click somewhere on the table. I'll go insert and I'll say add pivot table. And I'll choose existing worksheet. And this is my working sheet. On the right side, as you can see, the name of our titles. And this is where we are going to do our analysis. So I like to see how much money did we pay for our product. To do this, I'll choose product, hold, and drop on the rows. And I'll choose the price on the values. Look carefully, it shows us a summary of the price. And this is what we want. What else we can analyze? I like to see how many times did we buy that product. So I'll insert another pivot table and choose my working sheet. Let's choose here. I'll choose product on the rows again. And I will hold and click the product again into values. It automatically converted to the count of product, and this is what we want. But let's say we don't want this. You can click here and choose value field settings, and you can choose whatever you want. And go back our main data. I would like to see what is the average price of a product for dollar per unit. To do this, let's insert one more pivot table. Existing worksheet, choose here. I'll choose product again, and I'll choose dollar per unit, but this time not summary. So I'll click here and I'll go to value field settings and I'll choose average. You see there are lots of numbers. I'll come back here again. I'll click number format. I'll choose number. I'll do it for 2 decimal numbers. I'll click OK. And it turned out well. And I fix it. You can think it doesn't look like an analysis right now. It's just boring tables. But at the end of the video, you will see how fantastic it will turn out. Be patient, stay with me, and let's visualize these tables. Click on the table and go insert and click on recommended charts. You can see all the chart types here. For this data, I will go for bar chart and I will put it here and I will come back to this later. To next one, same thing again, go to insert for recommended charts. For this one, I want to have pie chart. Click on it and put it here. So click on this 2 again and go for recommended charts. Bar chart will be nice. I also want to see averages of each product constantly, okay? So I need to create one more column. To do this, let's go back to main data and let's write here average. Okay, that's nice. So what do we do next? So on the pivot table, we can see each product individually. What I'm going to do here, I will copy and paste these here and name here products, and on the next one I'll write average. Let's create another table again, equals average if. Okay, go back to main data. Our range is here. Okay, criteria is pipe and the average range is here. Okay, close the parentheses. This is just for pipe, so we will delete this and I will do it for each one of them one by one. Let me show you how I do it very fast. I'll copy the formula, I'll paste it here, I'll just write angle iron. That's it. Here we have it. And let's make it, of course, number and 2-digit is fine. How we are going to add these to here? I created this table for purpose. We will use VLOOKUPs here. Let's say VLOOKUP. So lookup value is here. Table array is this table. This is why I make it table. Choose all the table. Column index number, the second one. I'll choose second and I'll write false because I want exact matches. You see we got the results, by the way. It's all written same. And let's just convert to number. Look, pipe 87, sheet metal 65, 567, sheet metal 65. You see, it's the same. VLOOKUP trying to match this column and this table's values. When you get the match, it will write here, okay, here, because we choose this cell on the same thing that is written in the second column. That's why we write second here, and we choose false before the exact match. In the future, I will explain you VLOOKUPs better. And we have our averages. We go back to working sheet. You see, our average isn't there. So I will go there and refresh all. Right now we have our average data as well. And I want to see average on the values, but not the summary. Average again, because it's just their average, so it will be the same. And let's change the number and let's make it for 2-digit. Okay. So right now it will all look same, but in the future you will understand why I did this. For this example, I want to change the chart type. So I come back here again. We can use these ones. For difference, we can use combo ones. This is also fine. Let's go with combo ones. I'll choose this. Now we are going to create a dashboard where we can show our work detail, cleaned, organized perfectly. But before we do that, I want to do something on the main data. So as you can see, these two data are not on our raw data, but main data is supposed to be our raw data, yes? At this point, you can do only one thing if you don't want to change your formulas, and this is adding a row here and merge this rows, okay? And you will write here that raw data, okay? This is very cheap way, but it works. And here we can say data analyst created, okay? So if somebody will look at your main data, they will understand that, okay, this is the raw part and this is our data analyst created part. So nobody will get confused, all right? Let's make these bigger so everybody can see, and make small and middle. All right, like this maybe, it's too big, okay. And also print these to the different color. So it will not only separate by the title, but also with the color. So let's create our dashboard here. And I will copy and paste these. Okay, I want to hide the buttons on the chart like this, and after that I can add labels and also chart titles. Let's add labels here too, and from design I can change the chart type. I think this is fine, and I don't want to see the grids behind, so remove them. I'll go to page layout and grid lines. Here's the funny part starts. So I will click on this chart. I'll say insert slicer. This is a dynamic filter. So I will add company and product here. So what happens when I click them? Things are changing, but red ones are not changing, but the other ones changing dependent on company. And we can do multiple selections like this. And we can choose multiple companies like this, okay? So, do I need to create filters for these two charts again? No. If I click report connections and if I choose other tables as well, now they are connected. You see, we can see all the details about company 13. An example here, company 13 is cheaper than the average. This is the total amount of money we spent for company 13. This is how many times we buy these products from company 13 and their percentage. The 10 means 10 times we buy them, and this is the 18% of the total. And I want to add one more thing, and that is insert timeline. And timeline only can be date. My timeline looks in Turkish, but it is actually like January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November, and December. I don't know why it is look like this. I try to change it, but I think it doesn't hard to understand what it is. So what it does is, as you can think, when you choose the month, it will show you the only data that is in that month. Or let's go for August. Let's go for May. It's changing, and we can connect these timeline to other charts as well. And I'll click on these, and now they are changing as well. Let's say you are in the meeting with your boss. He asks you that, can you show me the report of company 13 on the first half of the year? You will come here, you will choose the first half, you will choose company 13, and here is the details. For pipe, they are above average, but for hollow sections, they are below average. How many times did we buy stuff? 26% of products we buy from company 13 are sheet metal. And sheet metal prices average among other companies. Let's see the pipe. 23% of our total buys from company 13 are pipes. And let's check the pipe. And pipes price are above average in total compared to other companies. You see, we could buy it cheaper. So this is what you're showing to your boss, and this is the total amount of money we paid. If we create same thing in this chart to this chart, we can also see how much money did we pay extra. Let's finish our work and name these titles. Average dollar per unit by companies, blue, and average dollar per unit. Okay, and this one is total purchases, and this is how many times is bought X product. Alright, I think that's fine. I can change its properties. I'll go for position and layout, and I'll increase the columns. Okay, this is the final one. I also want to add our logo for this area. So I asked ChatGPT create me a logo, and it all looks good now. We can change the background color if we want. Okay, why not? And change its colors to something related with these. Not this one, maybe not. Okay, why not? Okay. Just play it with however you want. I think it looks good now, and you can show it to your boss. You can play with the data. You can check for the second quarter of the year for companies 14, 16, and 18. And let's look about road, pipe, and angle iron. Here you have. Let's remove this. For company 14 on the second quarter of the year, this is how many times you buy these 3 products, and this is how much money did you pay for all of them. Is this connected to this one? I don't think it is connected. Port connections, okay. Right now we can see it. It's okay. Here is how many times we buy these products from company 14 in the second quarter of the year. This is how much money we paid in total, and this is their comparison with the average of all companies. So company 14 is more expensive than the average, but less expensive than average, which is really good. There's a big difference here, and slightly more expensive than the average. You can play with your data like this. You can find your all answers from this table, from this dashboard, and this is the end of my analysis. I hope this video helped you a lot, and for the next videos, subscribe to channel. You won't miss anything.